Hi, Nora. How are you today?
Hi, Trisha. I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I'm glad that you are with me. Today we are going to chat about your experience in the Empower Her program that you have been through. If anybody watching, Empower Her is an intensive women's coaching program for about 16 or 18 weeks, where we work on a particular milestone, a big win that we want to achieve towards bigger goals in our life. While working towards those goals, we generally have lots of shifts, changes, and growth in our life as well. We're just going to talk a little bit about your experience in that. But before we start, I want you to say a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what you love about what you do.
I'm Laura Narayansingh. I am an architect. I work at ACLE Architecture, and I'm a director of the company. I have been a director for 5 years, and I love, love projects that just completely creatively driven, fully designed, focused. The client has a massive vision and they want to bring it to life, and there's energy and excitement about this vision. I specifically love that type of architectural work and would love to do this forever. If I can live in that feeling forever, I would.
Oh, well, Laura, I know this about you, and people may not, but when you talk about the things that you do, you definitely lights up in terms of how much you love it. And I appreciate that so much. Tell us a little bit about when you joined the Empower Her program. What was it that made you say, yeah, I want to do something like this? What was it that made you say, I want to do a program like this. I want to do a group coaching program with other women I've never met.
Well, it all stemmed from a conversation I had with another woman who did the program. I did not know about the program at that point. I was telling her that I really felt I was in a place where I'm so grateful for my position. I adore what I do, but I still feel like I haven't tapped into my full potential. And I felt at that time in particular that I needed to bring more to the table. I needed to level up. It was just a feeling that was mingling for quite some time. And that happened, let's say, a Monday, and by the Friday, I was in the program. That conversation happened on a Monday. I had no idea, but I had a call with Trisha somewhere in between, and I was like, you know what, I'm doing it. I'm diving.
It did happen pretty fast when you joined. I love the fact that you said that it's kind of level up. We so often feel that in our life. Like I've just been in one place, but I know I have so much more. I have so much
Yeah.
more that I can do, so much more that I can offer, but I can't think about how do I level up? How do I do that? And I
Yeah.
love that you bring that up because I think so often women face that. I just know inside there's something more, but I don't know
Yeah.
how exactly what it is or even how to go about making that goal leap. So I just love that you said that.
Exactly. And it just kind of showed up as a feeling, like a dull feeling, where I know everyone kind of, when you feel this, they use the word stuck or you block or whatever, but it's that feeling that there's more and you have more in you and you just need to tap into it and you don't know how. So bridging the gap, this program absolutely did that for me.
I love that. I often say that this program is goal focused because we take a goal that we want to achieve in the next year or 18 months. We say, this is a goal I want to work on. And we break that down into the first major marker that would tell us we are en route to this goal. That is the thing we are working towards making happen in this program. There's a lot of work that we do in the program, and we'll touch on that. But tell us, even if it's just a little bit, could you tell us about the milestone, the thing that you were working on for this program? What was the thing that you wanted to do? And did you get there?
I definitely got there. I think that I noticed a change in myself very shortly after starting the programs. Uh, but my kind of milestone was really based around the same concept of just taking another step in my profession. It was genuinely something that I personally felt needed to happen. No one was asking for it.
Mhm.
At some point in the entire program, we learned about the ripple effect. You see how that desire to grow in your profession, in your career, affects everyone. In my case, the business, my family, my friends, how it really then genuinely does start with you and it just kind of just spreads outwards. And so the reach of your own personal growth is far more wide than just you. My milestone was specifically to do with my own growth in my profession. And that, we learned through the program, was a very broad sort of growth. It wasn't just growth in one direction. I became a director at a young age when I was 28. I was pregnant with my first child. I have two children now. There was a lot of personal growth I needed to catch up on since that period. Coming into a role of extreme high responsibility, managing a team, etc., managing massive projects, just something that I kind of dove headfirst into. And then you realize at a point that you can only do so much if you yourself are not focusing on you yourself, you know?
Absolutely. There are a couple of things that you said that I want to emphasize or raise up for anyone listening. I love the fact that in your example, you're talking about this wasn't something that was given to you. It was driven by your own intuition and initiative. It was something, inside of you that really made you feel like I wanted to go after. To go after this. And those are the best types of goals, right? And the best types of milestones because we truly believe in them and we really want that. They're not things handed to us by some companies, hierarchy. It's something we genuinely, passionately want. It's connected with our values and our desires. So that's one thing I wanted to raise. The other thing, you're super humble, and I just wanted to raise this up because anybody listening, you didn't say it, but I will say it for you, is that you very clearly articulated your milestones and three very specific things you wanted to achieve by this certain time. And you were the first person to have achieved all three in our group. I remember the day when you came in and we were like, wait a minute, let's just have a look at what Laura wrote down here in terms of her milestones. Oh, I think I've done this. And we were like, well, let's pause. Everybody, let's celebrate and actually stop and celebrate the fact. What I'm trying to emphasize is your incredible commitment and passion to making this happen, but also the clarity of being able to say, this is what this looks like in terms of what I'm going to get to by the end of this time. And working towards that very specific thing gives you the ability to see that it's happened. So often we don't have that level of clarity. So it's hard to see when we reach somewhere. So we constantly feel like we're always striving for something and never reaching. And I think the importance of being able to have that clarity so that you can say, I've arrived is very important to as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so often we're just on the hamster wheel, and I think when we're running so hard, it's really impossible to stop and feel like you have time because you're like, well, I just have to keep running or else the wheel won't spin. But I don't know if anyone is looking for a sign, then they feel that way and the hamster wheel is something they feel like they're on and you really want to keep going, but you're just trying to get ahead and move on. This is the program for you.
So I want you to tell us a little bit about your goal, but there's so much more that happens in this program. Beyond the goal itself, what is a personal win or transformation or shift that happened for you in this program that has really just changed the trajectory of life, as you know it, and change the trajectory of being on that hamster wheel? What is, because I know there's the goal, but then there's a lot more that that totally shifts things for us. Is there one or two things that you could say, this really changed for me in the program? What would those be?
I think at some points we talked a lot about thought, and there was a moment where I realized that a lot of my self-doubt or own personal criticism was just ridiculously unhealthy. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I would think about a scenario and all the ways it could go wrong. There was a huge shift for me in the way that I think now. I try to just think of the best case scenario, and then not just that, about all of the other scenarios that could be positive. And even if there's a tough scenario that I really don't think I can navigate with an overwhelming amount of positivity, I have strategic thoughts that help me get through it. So it's just not about, I don't really get focused on negative thoughts anymore. I think I feel extremely optimistic about things. I feel as though I can tackle it. I know that I am talented. It's not something that I would have said before this program. I think I came to Trisha probably in our first call just with a lot of, I don't know. And then not to put things into words. The power of language, being able to succinctly dictate your feelings or your desire for something is extremely transformative. Once you've thought about it, move on, So it's not like overly dwelling on things, allocating the time to think something through, not keeping it. Just, again, organizing my thoughts. That was something for me that happened during the program and gave me an immense amount of clarity.
Yeah. I mean, I love that you bring that up, right? I always say mindset is everything. You can have everything else. And if you don't have that, your chances are all the way back down to like 5%. Mindset is everything. And I just want to emphasize to people that it's not just, this isn't just nice, airy, fairy kind of like, oh, think positive vibes. There's some very practical things that we do in the program that help us tune into our thoughts and to be able to think well. right? So
Yeah.
there's some specific practices that we use and exercises that help us understand the connection between our thoughts and actions and what happens when we intentionally reframe them. We work a lot on reframing thoughts. So I just want to emphasize that I know that really stands out, but it's not just because it's like, oh, let's just be positive. It's not kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
nice group of us here to be positive with each other. It's very practical things that we are applying and tools that we are applying that help us to be able to think well for ourselves. Because when we can think well on situations, we are able to find solutions. I can remember specifically with you a particular moment in time where you were like, this particular thing happened, and you were like, any other time, this would have been completely unbalancing, and I would have felt like I'd fallen apart. But I really genuinely feel like I can just handle this, and I can just keep going.
My gosh, I forgot about that. But that,
Yeah. And
I
you're
know
like,
exactly what you're talking about.
But
But
absolutely, this is disappointing, and it's all of these things. But I see a way forward. I see a way
yeah,
through, and I can navigate this. I'm not worried. Our ability to handle situations like that is an incredible skill, right? Because we are able to stay focused, to stay calm, keep going, to accept and move on with positivity and calmness. It's all because of the practices and the practical things that we were doing that help us to be able to get into that
totally.
space.
Yeah, that's so true. And then I think another massive secret for me is you feel as a woman sometimes like you are the only one feeling this. I know you're not, but you feel like my situation is super specific. It's amazing how similar we all are because my group was full of women from extremely different backgrounds professionally. We do this thing called hot seat where everyone takes a turn every week to be in the hot seat and we throw out a very difficult thing we're going through individually. When we were helping each other navigate those difficult things, you realize how similar we all are. It's amazing. And it honestly that feeling of companionship and camaraderie that the group offers is not something I was expecting. I signed up because of Trisha, not necessarily because of the group, but the group was everything. So was Trisha. It's amazing how much I've learned from these women. And I feel like I've had them forever,
Absolutely. What I love about what you're saying is that a lot of people resist joining this program because of the group. And when they leave, the thing they most value is the group. It's like,
True.
it's like they're really thankful of joining. It's like, I'm put myself out there in front of these other people. I don't know who they are and blah, blah, all that kind of stuff. And then when they leave, they're like, I will have these women all my life who've been there. They're the best thing that's ever happened to me. I think that's always a huge transition for people. Let me ask you this question. What would you say to a woman who is thinking about joining this program, but she's holding back? She's unsure for whatever reason. She doesn't really know. What would you say to her?
Right. No, I would say if you're thinking about it, it's not that you're thinking it's not worth it. You're probably thinking about it for other reasons. But if you are thinking about how you allocate your finances this month or this year, the biggest gift you can give yourself, the best investment I think you can give yourself is in your own personal growth. And this group, this program is the ultimate resource. And we are so blessed as training women to have this, have Trisha. I really feel that way. I think you will, within a month or two, start to see the transformation and thank yourself. It's not something that I think you'll regret in any way. So just think about that when you're thinking about maybe you do have the time, maybe you can find the time, but right now you just can't see your way financially through it because of other things you think are more of a priority. But I promise you that this will take precedence once you get started. If you've done Ignite You, some of the other programs, those are enriching programs as well. But this is a deep dive into yourself. And you realize at some point that everything you need is within you. However, it can stay within you untapped, or you can do this program and seriously start to explore what's in you. And that's something I genuinely feel that happened to me. I know I have this immense amount of potential, but how to unleash it and how to harvest it, I just didn't know how to. And it's not just me, it's everyone. We all have it. We genuinely have an immense amount within us to unleash.
Oh, I love that reflection that it is within us. It's up to you whether it stays within or whether you let it out. I love that. Laura, thank you so much for sharing all of this with me. Any final words that you're like, I can't leave without saying this? Anything that you want to say?
Or just join the program. I think you should. I'm not even trying to hard sell, but if you're here and if you're watching the video, you're probably at a place where you feel like, I need a sign. Do I do it? Do I not do it? Do I do it? Do I not do it? Do it. That's what I'm to tell you. Just do it. You are. You're very blessed to have done it.
Lovely.
Honest.
Well, I feel very blessed to have had the wisdom of Laura stayed with me over the last how many weeks. I always feel like I am in the lucky position because I get the wisdom of everybody from all the groups. I just want to thank you so much. And I truly appreciate the amazing presence and energy you brought to our group every single week. Your insane amount of creativity, the ideas, and the wisdom that you have that you were sharing with all of us. I want to truly appreciate that in you because it's how we all show up and what we bring to the groups that make it such an incredible experience for everyone. And it is a real give and take, so you get so much from the group, but we give so much to each other as well. Incredible wisdom. And I just want to thank you so much for all of that. I have thoroughly enjoyed being part of the last weeks, and I look forward to how we're going to continue to work together so much more into the future. I just want to thank you so much for your time today and for sharing about your experience.
Thanks for having me, Trisha. Thank you so much, and thank you for everything.